Alright, just hang on. I gotta post this to videos and streams.
Look at this nerd.
You do realize I have the power to kick you off the stream, right?
You can't kick me off the stream if I'm not in the stream.
Alright, you know what? That's fair. This computer wasn't so slow. Alright, it's up.
Insane.
Hey everyone, Wilder here, and today I'm gonna do another tier list, but with a different host. It's my friend Shiba.
Yeah, that's me, guys.
Yeah. Anyways, let's just start.
That is most certainly me.
Yeah. Our first card is Blue Tailism. From
Okay,
what
what
I
are we looking
remember,
at?
this
Oh,
used to
the
be like
stream is
this card.
not loading for me. Okay, there we go. It's I liked I like his current iteration. I think his old iteration sucked, but it forces you to play Rainbow, and then it's a really weird card that I think it's kind of difficult to play sometimes. We'll give him like a B.
I mean, like removing colorless cost is always
I've
nice.
never been a huge fan of his old iteration, and I'm not really a huge advocate for his current iteration.
I think its current iteration is like 1,000 times better than its old one. Alright, next up is Boba Man 1.
Well, yeah, the old iteration sucked, but the current iteration it forces you to play Rainbow, and I don't like Rainbow. You have
You don't like anything.
Boba. It's like, why does this card exist? It's like I get it's Swarm hate, but it's like it doesn't even like all it does is kill Swarms, and then it kills itself in the same effect. It's like I've never liked this card, and I still don't like it, even with the ability to play it with like the small damage. I've never liked this card. I think it goes in D.
Well, that sounds a bit harsh because like some people call this indirect parasailing support, which I guess is valid in some cases, but
I just hate the card. It's like it's 4 white for a card that just his Swarm hate. Like it's just four white for Swarm hate. It doesn't even like keep its own body at like 100 HP. It just dies. Never liked it.
alright, well I still think this card is at least usable. I gotta give it at least C tier. Alright, next up we have
Have the
the
three
free
color colorless cycle, which I used to not like them, and then they got buffed to 500, 500, and now they're pretty good. It's
I know,
the three colored
yeah.
things.
First up we have Duped
They
Adventurer.
were not good when they sucked at 400, 500, and now they don't suck. So we'll give them a. I think they're still B, unfortunately, because there's still a lot of cards that you could be playing that cost the same that would potentially garner more value.
Yeah. Can we at least just give Tupcell like D tiers? It's like I don't think any green deck would use this.
I've seen people play Tutso, but I guess it's not that common of a card considering green does get a fair amount of colorless pretty consistently.
You know what? You know what? Fine, I don't care anyways. Next up is
Whatever. All right, we have
this.
it's like yes, you're getting like +1 colorless per turn, but that's a like it's still 2 turns to pay itself back. And it's like I see the usage in it, but I've never liked it, and I've hated it. I've just hated it because it's just like, why would you play this over like a starter on turn 1? I've never
The
liked this
amount of
card, and
Neo
I still don't like it.
the amount of Neo Dragon players I've seen play this card is
Like it's okay, but I've never liked it, so I think it should just go in C.
honestly that's exactly what I was thinking. It has some utility, but you know. All right, next up we have
Okay,
the
we have
Dominus cycle.
Dominus. They all suck. It's like it's like they sucked, We changed them, and they still suck somehow. So I think they're F. It's like I'm not paying 10 white for these cards. I'd rather just play like Abel at that point.
Yeah, what's bad, always bad. Alright, next up we have Sono. I don't even know how to pronounce this card.
I always call him Sanzaki, but that's not how you pronounce it. But I'm not gonna tell you how. Ha ha ha. He's a really versatile two-lock card who works in EL. Generates colorless. The only thing holding him back is his kind of low stats and the fact that he's an epic, of course. But aside from that, I think he's a solid A tier card.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, because like lock 2 for 3 white, satisfactory. Alright, next up we have Anime. This used to be very
Well, we
bad, but now it's
we buffed her to 800 to 300 and then 800 with overload, and it's just like, yeah, that made the card better, but it's like, why? I think she's at least usable. I'd still personally play Blocker Wiz or Inferno Acolyte over her, but I think she's at least B.
honestly that's kind of what I was thinking too, because like she's like the third alternative red starter if for some reason you didn't want to run Blocker Wiz or Infernal Acolyte.
Yeah, but that's kind of weird. 'Cause we actually have Blocker Wiz, which now trades better due to the stat buff, so I think Blocker Wiz is... I think he's A, although personally I run Infernal Acolyte in my red decks, because I just like the double gen turn 1
I just
over
run I
the
run both Blocker Wiz
survivability.
and Infernal Acolyte, but yeah, it's still pretty good.
Okay, we have Ignis Mage. Ignis Mage is a card that exists.
I love this
It's
card.
like you can, but it's like you get the same value out of a completely separate blue card, otherwise known as Samurai Shock, except his bread is spread out. But it's like you can play Ignis Mage if you want. Like it's a card that exists. He's decent, but I would pick something else.
I love
So I
Ignis.
think I think he's C. I wouldn't call him D. I wouldn't say he's bad. I would just say that he's outclassed.
Well, I'm not gonna listen to you. This card's good.
Can't believe this shit. Alright, we have Kamov. Kamov's just the red draw card. I don't really need to talk about him.
Yeah, can
We'll
we
give
just
him an A. You
nah
can
this
put him in S if you want. I've never liked the fact that he's 3 white.
I mean I guess being 3 white is kind of a downside, but like
It's
it's
annoying,
unconditional
but
red draw.
it's a color pie break, so it kind of has to be expensive. Whatever.
Alright, next up we have Lady Red Knight.
People play this card apparently. I know it's a good card because it sets your colorless to 4 on attack and that lets you make more plays, but it's like I played this card like twice, and then I don't think I've ever seen somebody play this card ever again. But I think it's at least a B.
Yeah, fun fact about this card, apparently this card has never been changed.
No, it hasn't. It's literally never been changed since its first iteration.
Yeah. Ooh, Mag.
We have Mag. Guys, Mag trades with Mag trades with Dogehound now, guys. Mag's just like Mag exists. Like he's not bad, but
Uh,
I wouldn't say like he's super good. He just exists. But I
he's
think he's at least like A B.
yeah, he's
Like
playable.
he
That
exists.
it's a playable card. That's all I'm gonna say. Ah, yes, rad.
We have I think he got indirectly nerfed by getting an art change. I think we should change his
Oh,
art
come on,
back.
not
But
this crap again. The new
we're not allowed to debate that. That's not what we're here for. So I'd give him at least a B. He's a good
this
statted
card's been
fighter.
power crept more times than I've
Well, yeah, because
evaded
it's a
my
fucking
taxes.
vanilla.
I
It's a vanilla. There's nothing for it to do. It's like what? We're gonna give it overload next patch?
I mean, they might, considering how many red cards they gave in Overload the past couple of months.
No, because that's not in the patch notes. It's not in the patch notes. Nobody's pulled it, so it's not happening.
Fine, I'll put it in B tier because I'm pretty sure if I didn't
He's
all the
playable.
because if I didn't put him in B, I bet Snubcube and all of the tertiaric art lovers will just come after me and leak my IP address.
Okay, well now we have the Red Cliffs. Adapt is just Red Cliff starter. There's like nothing special about it aside from the fact that it usually gets comboed into Archer if they're going second or Messenger if they're going first. There's like nothing special about it.
Yeah,
Like there's nothing. There's no redeeming qualities aside from the fact that it's grouped.
if it, yeah, do you want to just give it C tier?
Just give it C. There's nothing cool about it. Here's
It's-
Archer, which is probably like the most bullshit Red Cliff card that isn't like Decimate or Enforcer. You have your killer, but
I still think Archer's overhated. Just kill the card. It's not that hard.
well, the problem is it's annoying and it's got like the slight bit of health. It's just annoying. I wouldn't say it's stupidly broken. It's just obnoxious. So it's at least B, just solely for being annoying.
We'll put him at the best of B then.
We have Mauler. Mauler's an interesting card because it combo. It's just 100 stab buff, which is of course nothing special. A lot of groups and a lot of cards buff, but it's like it's versatile within its own group in that kind of sense,
Yeah,
or at least something like that. So it's like I wouldn't say it's like good, but I wouldn't say it's bad. So I would say it's probably not one of those weird B tier cards. That's like it
yeah,
could be better, but we can't make it better because then it'd be too good.
yeah. But then again, it's health gain in red, which the only other card I know that does that is Metagirl.
Well, we don't talk about Meta Girl
Oh,
because
great.
she's not in this pack.
Oh, yes, it's
We
the
have Messenger. Messenger, aside from being like target related cheeses, I see you fucking ritual players. Fuck off.
man. Why you
It's
gotta be?
just a 150 power buff, which is always nice to have because that can make a difference in a card trading or not trading.
I'll be honest. I never really liked this card. I'm just gonna give it a D tier.
Well, okay. You
Uh,
have Darren, which it's like, yeah, he's cool. The 50 AoE power buff exists, but it's like, cool dude exists. It's like there's literally a card just that does the same thing but better.
oh right.
So it's like you can play him, I guess, but I would still play Cool Dude unless like you can literally can't afford to follow up on Cool Dude whatsoever in any situation, which was sad if you can't.
Yeah. Do you
So
want?
I think he's playable, but it's like you have a better choice. So I
Yeah.
think he's D.
Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment.
We have Crescendo. We buffed Crescendo, and now everyone calls it Sage Smite number 2. And that's basically what it is because it's just 500 damage for 2 white, 2 red. And if you use it on a Moonward card, congratulations, they have plus 1,000 power. So
Yeah.
it's either
I don't
you
get
either
what.
just play it as removal or you play it as a stupid power buff.
I just use this on the damage and being like it to get so that way I can get to lethal better.
Yeah, and then it gets stat reset because you can't go face with it. But it's a card that got buffed, and I think it should be nerfed or at least reverted. So I think it's at least high A until that happens.
Yeah. I think that's a fair point. Ah.
Have the we just put all the intentionally bad cards in F.
You know
It's like
what?
I don't need to talk
Okay.
about them. They're
Yeah.
not funny except
Yeah.
for the fact that King's Clown plays a honking sound.
Yeah. It's. You know what? If we're let's. I'll be reasonable and just put them all in.
Put them all. There's nothing funny except for the fact that King's Clown, since it has clown in the name, plays a honking noise when you play it.
All right. Here's.
Like that is the only funny bit. It just plays the honking noise, which happens with Happy Clown as well, but that does not make it any better.
I guess that's fair. Although I have seen Salty Nub get a lethal with intern clown, so I think that has to put
Well,
some.
yeah, because Intern Cat's a funny one because it's a stupid cat.
What does being a cat have to do with anything?
It makes it funnier. We have Oz, which apparently people don't like Oz because it's a 700, 550, and I don't see the problem in that. So I think it's just a C.
This card's
It's just another vanilla card.
it's probably one of the more worst vanillas because like three
I wouldn't say
white.
it's a bad vanilla, but I wouldn't call it a good vanilla. It's just like he just exists.
Yeah. Next up we have Pixelus.
People play this card apparently. I don't think I've ever seen somebody play this card before in like an actual match if like they were actually serious about winning. I don't use this card. I barely see people use it. I don't really think I can give a good rating on it, but we'll just give it a C because at least does something productive. But I don't think I don't think it's a B because it sucks.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Honestly, I wish they would have just buffed its stats to 600, but I guess the 300 bed's kind of nice.
Well, can't have everything. We have Red Cliff Decimate here, which everyone's always like fear mongering this card because it's like, oh my god, 800 power buff. But then it's like, shit, removal exists.
It
And
reminds me
it's
of
like, oh, don't use the removal argument. Well, too bad. This card is very niche to actually pull off. And unless you follow up on it, it's going to just die. So I think this card's a C. It's like, it's cool and it's funny when it works, but a lot of the times it doesn't work and then it's sad.
yeah.
We have Rise, which I've played Red Cliff a few times actually, just to have a funny moment. And Rise is actually a fairly decent card due to the fact that it both does bread to your opponent with and buffs your fighters by 500 power. So I
I'll
think
be
it's at least a B. I wouldn't use it as generic removal because it hits both sides, which means it's really easy to kill your own fighters by accident. But it's definitely a good card with its group.
I'll be honest. I've always discarded this card because I've never really liked it. I'm just gonna say it. I think it's just a C tier.
I'd personally call it a B, but whatever. We have
Ah,
Enforcer here, which
yes, this thing.
this card exists, and people are always shitting on it again because it's like, yeah, bro, you can follow up with the Aviar Killer and instantly get the buff, but it's like your opponent is making an investment, and if like they're managing to pull that off with a productive board, then you're already losing. So I think people fear this card way too much. And yes, it is dangerous, but you can slow it down. You can remove the other fighters. So I think it's B. I would have given it A if it was scarier, but I just don't. I think people overhype this card too much.
Well, I don't think it's that overhyped, but I do think it's Fear Marker just a little bit too much.
We have, is that Soul Search?
That's Scorched Earth.
This
Uh, the only thing I
Scorched
know,
Earth, it exists. I've never seen somebody play it though, but
the only person I
really it just
know who plays
overrides your opponent's terrain, which is a thing.
the only person I know who plays Scorched Earth is Dysfunctional Wrecked.
I don't think I've seen a single person play Scorched Earth because all it does is override your opponent's terrain if they have one at all, and it just punishes Living World players for animating it. And considering that most decks don't run terrains unless like they're built around it, I think the card is very unproductive and is a waste.
Yeah, let's just put the Terrarian C tier as well.
At least the terrarian does something, but the terrarian backfires on you for you playing and them animating it. Vet Merc,
Oh, I love
ex-
this card.
it exists. It's like, well, one, it's a funny ritual cheese, which I guess is a thing that happens, but it's just like, it's an interesting case of good of value if it works, but really bad if it doesn't work. But at the very least, it's a guaranteed trade on something, so I think it's at least a C.
Honestly, I just like this card because it's 3 red, 1500 power, so.
And yeah, and then a Dice Ignis Mage.
Alright,
That's my
next.
argument. That I rest my case.
That's
And
not
we
very good.
have that's Chaotic Commando, which
The only,
I really wish it didn't self damage for as much, or at least power gained like 150 instead of just 100. But as it stands, it's a nice pure cost to drop. Of course, Red Transform exists, which removes its effect and just makes it a high stat fighter, which you can do that. But I like Chaotic Commando a lot. I think it's at least an A.
yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, like, other than Red Transform, this could, you could potentially try,
It is annoying to push through due to its just high base stat.
if you try hard enough, you can make RB Noyle's domain.
I just don't think that's worth it, man. But that's not a card in this pack, so we can ignore that.
Yeah,
We have DIY
DIY.
Vigorhead, which I've only ever seen played as removal. I've never seen like people actually using it for the power buff unless you're playing like Lunar.
The
And
only
even
thing,
then, I don't see people running it in Lunar because Crescendo exists.
the only thing I don't like about this card is that it's inert.
It is a nerd, and I think that's stupid. But I'm not a GM, and I can't pull that change to make it
Okay, but
not a
you're a
nerd. So
tester. You can bring that up.
I could, but that's not my job. So we'll give it a D. I wish it was cooler. I wish it was more than just essentially just just outclassed or just weird removal. I really wish it was a cooler card, but as it stands, it's just not.
You know what? I don't care. What? Let's just move on.
We have
Falling.
Fallen Guardian,
Apparently, this.
which this card used to be bugged. We fixed it. Don't worry. We fixed
Oh
it,
yeah,
guys. We fixed it.
this card used to literally be unusable.
This card used to suck, and now it's playable. I guess it's just pure cost hate.
You could use this. Kinnis players hate this card.
It's like nice pure cost, but it's like it's 350 bread. It's kind of weird, and it's really just designed around pure cost hate. I've never liked the old iteration because the old iteration sucked, and I think the current iteration is kind of boring. But I guess if you really want to shit on the pure cost players, you can play it.
I'd just give it a C. I don't really care about this card.
We have Firebrand. Now, Firebrand is a card I use in my really weird mono red deck, and I would say Firebrand's a relatively good card due to the fact that it's high base stats and then it's also gains health. But unfortunately, I think people don't like this card that much because it's kind of weird. But I think it's at least a B. I know it's a little expensive, but I like the card a lot, and I think it's kind of neat,
Yeah,
even
we'll
though it
just.
is health gain in red.
Ooh,
We
unconditional
have
red draw.
well, it is conditional. It's 1,500 power total or more
Yeah,
on
but
cast.
like you're
But
playing red,
it's
you're
like
always
this
gonna hit
card
the.
is Redcliffe grouped, and it's like yeah, you can use this in Redcliffe, but it's like why? It's like you just use this for the red draw and the tiny amount of bread.
Yeah,
So it's like it exists. It exists. It's funny. It exists.
yeah. I would just give this an A tier because like it's
I
draw.
guess, but it's like Kamov exists and he draws as well, and he's a common. We have two rocket arenas for some reason. Oh, that's
Uh,
the Terrarian.
yeah, they
We
never.
didn't update. Somebody has to update this. Whatever. Rocket Arena is. I like the card. It is just essentially unconditional red draw while essentially putting yourself on a timer. It is a funny card, and it was a nice change from the previous crappy iteration and the even crappier iteration before that. So, I guess it's B. I really wish it didn't just put you on a timer. I really wish it stopped killing you if it would actually like kill you from its effect, but it doesn't do that, so it just kills
Yeah,
you.
I'd also just put the Terrarian in
The
B.
Terrarian is just a statted fighter.
It
It's
does
just
nothing. So like,
it doesn't do anything. It's just stats. I have Waffles Dude, which is a very interesting card. He's 2 white, 4 red for 750, 750. Can't be weakened, which I think is very stupid. Also considering the fact that it is a rare, which means it also functions in hero decks. So I'd give him like an A, but I feel like he's just so versatile that he's like very like borderline S tier.
also there's like I know there's like two people who would use this because they hate dust players.
Well, I don't think he's a good dust counter. Then there's Total War. I've heard good things about this card, but I have also yet to see a single person play this card, which is sad because I think it is very useful in certain situations, but
The only
I
per
can't really give this a fair rating without like I don't use the card myself. I don't see people use the card. I feel like it could be cool, but it's like when people don't use the card and we don't do anything about it, it can't be really called cool. It just exists.
Yeah, I'll be honest. The only person I know who would use this card is Daring Poophead, and
Oh yeah, of course he uses it because it's daring. And then we have
oh, what are
Unyielding
you racist
Battleground,
against
which
Daring Poophead now?
I don't play Daring Fufed in my police. Shut up. Wait,
Oh,
there's
that's right. You play.
Unyielding Battleground, which is
It's the Terrarian
Unyielding
for.
Battleground's a card. It's very interesting because it's just instant damage. It destroys itself and then puts itself back. So and then I don't think I've ever seen. It's like Agony is a good card if you have no cards in hand, but it's like, do people really play Agony? It's like
Yes.
you're playing red. Do you really need that removal?
I did
It's
this.
like you can, and it's like it's a good card if you can. It's like if it doesn't like delete your entire hand, but it's like I don't like it that much.
Honestly, I think this is kind of good, so I just give it a B tier.
We have Chosen Coast, which almost got changed to what was Old Dignity, but he didn't, and he's just a
They should have
card that
just
exists to
reverted
be transformed.
dignity. Like they should have just
Well,
reverted.
too bad because Chosen Coast is as of right now just red transform support again. It's like he's a bad card until you get rid of his downside, which is can't be countered. Like he's just not a good card.
Yeah, let's just put him in D tier.
And we have Dignity, which current Dignity exists just to be cheesed out by Hall of Fame, and that makes me sad because that was like the one like a really consistently playable. like just vanilla epic legendary fighter for EL, and now it's just get cheesed out and summon an 800 in the field. It also replaces current Buzz Hamtaro as the 800 from Trey. And I wish I want to insult this card and call it bad, but since it's just a good card when it happens, so I guess it's like B.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
But I want to
I'm
insult this
still
card so
angry
much.
at Mir for changing this card, even though it was completely fine before.
Well, we'll move on from that. We have lobsters, and
Oh
I
my,
hate this card not because it's a fear mongering card,
screw
but
this
because it's
card.
hardcastable. It's like I get that we like hardcasts, but it's like really, it's like yeah, it's 8 white, but it's like it's just 8 white board wipe, which I
AY
know
isn't
you
even
could
that
play
hard to
something better.
get.
But it's like it's kind of stupid that we made this hardcastable because what's the point of staying above 150 life, 1,500 life if your opponent's just gonna play it anyways? It's like it's just a waste. Like yeah, they're spending an extra 4 colorless, but does that really make a difference in the long run when your board is gone? And you, it's like it doesn't make a difference if you have a hand still because you'll just put your fighters back. But I hate this card so much. Want to rank it at F, but this isn't a personal choice tier list, so I guess it falls under B.
Okay, honestly.
But I hate this card. I want it to be unhardcastable.
Yeah, me too. But we have to put it on a technical scale, so like,
Okay, we have Cindering. Cindering is just S. I don't think I need to explain Cindering because every
yes,
mono red player
yes,
plays Cindering.
yes.
Lego Seed is a thing. We gave him Overload because he wasn't great without it. So he's playable, but really the only things you're gonna see him in is like Kinnis and Rediel. So I guess he just goes in A because he's a usable card.
I suppose so.
You have Red Cliff King Richard, which
Uh,
is a little stupid, but I wouldn't call him like he's not great outside of Red Cliff. So I guess he just falls under B. Like he's like obviously the Red Cliff top end where he just brings you more Red Cliff, even though you can just enforcer Yagger Killer and
yeah.
just win the game anyways. But
It's red
he's
give.
he's a good card.
It's red card advantage, but there's no drawback.
Well, the drawback is that he exists, and you're playing Red Cliff, but that doesn't count.
I was
We
playing
have
red cliff
Bryson
a down.
27.
Oh, I
Hey
know.
guys, fun fact. I'm going to ruin this entire stream. Bryson 27 is no longer level 27 in blocks cards.
Oh, oh yeah. I
He's
actually
level
know.
30.
I know this guy because I met him on Discord.
He is in the Discord, but he's not very active. Anyways, he's a good green pure cost. The colorless stud is nice for a follow up. I wouldn't. Again, you don't. It's like he's definitely better than some of the other like pure costs, and the colorless stud is always nice. I think he's a B.
I'll be honest. I really don't like this card. It's like a D tier
I'm
for
pinging
me.
Bryson in Discord with this.
Oh, come on, man.
You're getting called out.
Oh,
Chef. Chef has the most alt arts in the game on one card because it's Chef, and that's funny. And it is a one cost bread card, and I do like this card a lot because it is kind of funny and it does work fairly well. So I think it's at least I want to say like he's not good, but it's funny to use him. So I think he's an S. And
yeah.
you can fight me on Discord in that. You can ping me. I'm not underscore Shiva on Discord, otherwise labeled as Sweltering Summer Shiva. Thanks for coming, folks. Fuck you. We have
Oh yeah.
Scylla,
Oh
which
yeah. For the people who wanted to think Shiba, be sure to tell them that Tudo sucks.
you didn't even say it right.
Why do
We
I
have
need?
Scylla, which we buffed Scylla to be 400, 400, and Leech 400, which is cool. But it's cheap. It's fairly use. I'd say it's a pretty useful card, but
I,
I still would rather play something funnier. But I think it's definitely B2.
yes, this is definitely the definition of a B tier card.
I have Overseer. That is, it's just Overseer cost. It's just
Honestly, I
Overseer
think
group. It's like
overseers are all every single overseer card is so bad. I'd give them their own tier.
okay, we're shitting all over your Overseers, I guess.
Yes.
Hey, it's not my choice, guys.
Yeah, I'll just put every overseer card here
It's
because
like personally, guys, I'd rank Overseers at a fairly good power group around like all B cards. But Wildy has the one access to the website, so blame him, not me.
oh, I'm sorry for being corrected because overseers are just
Don't lie to
kind of
yourself, man.
awful. Let's see, did I miss any? Oh wait, there are a couple more. I'm sorry, but overseers are just genuinely so awful to play.
We're ratioing overseas. Alright, up next is Lang's. Which, yes, Lang's is the Swarm Hate card, and yes, it's Lang's. So I'm going to rank Lang's at S because the funny AoE bread.
Honestly, I can kind of agree. I've
It's the
lost
funny
this.
2-cost
I've
AoE
lost.
bread.
I've lost to this card way more times than I'd like to admit.
I think that's a skill issue, but whatever. Life Potion. This card sucks.
No, I don't even need to talk about this one.
I don't want to talk about Life Potion. It sucks. It's expensive. It's boring. We have Pillager, which Merge changed the description, and then this community was upset, and then we changed it back.
Yeah,
But it's like he's a good card, and we did give him regenerating, so I think he's a C because he can be
yeah.
obnoxious at
It's
times. But I wouldn't
honest.
say he's bad.
Honestly, I personally I would say D tier, but like, whatever.
We have Pirate, which is just a kind of generically good card. I know everyone in Dust runs Pirate because it's 250 D power, but Pirate's
Honest.
good outside of Dust, you fuckers.
Honestly, this card is just good.
Spikeable. This card exists. Like it's supposed to be the green starter with like big stats, scary downside, but it's like just play any other green starter. You can. It's like if you're playing like play Necro Acolyte, play like literally anything else. You don't have to play Spikeable.
Honestly, I think
Please
this
don't play
card would
Spikeable.
be 100 times better if it wasn't transform immune.
Well, that'd completely negate the downside, and also mean that green survivors will be
Okay,
real
but
in
who's
three, two,
okay,
one.
but realistically speaking, who's playing greens? Who's playing green transform?
Nobody, and that's the joke.
Wait,
I just
that's
play anything else. You can play Spikeable. Just play anything else though.
yeah, it's not good. Ducky
We have Ducky
Wells.
Wow, which is just he is a Gigant proc. I want to bring that up. He is a Gigant proc, and he is a vanilla, but I think he's a very good card for his cost. I think he's like a super good card for his cost, despite what he looks like. And I know that like you could play something else for like the same amount of green, but I think it's a very useful and good card. And
Uh,
again, you can fight me on Discord about that one.
I don't really like this card. I give it a C tier.
Can't believe this shit. He's a mono green hater. This card, I have
But the Rana Green
KC
hater.
666 Beast. This card it's just Ducky Wow but with higher stats
Yeah, I really
and
don't
a
see.
bigger cost. It's like there's
I
nothing special about him
I don't
at
see any.
all.
I don't see any reason for this card to exist. D tier.
We have Oozle. We have Oozle, which it's like yes, you can run both, and it's like I think it's a good card because it essentially is permanent gen for the rest of the game as soon as you play it. But it's like again, I would advocate for the Acolyte starters in this case because I just like them better. But I think both are equally usable, and I think this card would go very high up.
I guess. I don't know. This card just seems below average. I just give it C tier.
We have Samsung, which I literally never seen somebody play this card before,
The
like
only
in
person
a not like funny deck.
I have.
It's like you can use this in shares, I guess, but I've literally never seen this card played ever.
The
But
only
I guess it's usable. It's another green pure cost. I think it's a usable card.
the only person I know who plays this is Terralex, which he plays it in red green, which is really weird.
I just think this card's kind of awkward. It's got an awkward spot where it's like you could, and it's good if you do use it, but it's like you have a better option.
It's the damaging 26 of green.
We have Stone Shroud, which is just more dust, except it's not good at that. It's dust, but it just doesn't do it right.
It's awful. Like it's
It's like if you want an instant dust, you just play Zolrus. I just don't like this card because I think it's weird.
this card's just bad.
It exists. I wouldn't say it's bad, it just exists.
All right, next up we have
Because we
Tiger
have
Code.
Tiger Code, which I don't even remember what Tiger Code does, which I think is a bad sign.
Yeah, let's since I don't care about this card, we'll just put it in C
I
tier.
think it's like life gain or something. I don't remember, but I don't care about it. DIY Dominus. This is a very silly card, mostly because it's funny AoE swap for all your green cards, and that can be very helpful. And it can also technically swap your opponent's green fighters if you're both playing green for whatever reason. And this can technically kill a field full of dusted fighters if you wanted to do that. So this card is pretty cheap to play. It's 4 green. It's very
I
versatile in its color.
Yeah, I put it in A tier.
We have Barcode, which I
Ooh, I
don't need to
love this
explain
card.
Barcode. I
Ooh, I
don't
love
need
this
to explain
card.
Barcode, guys, please. We have King Cactor, which is mostly just used for getting cheesy extra colorless. But I guess it's a good card. It is a little expensive, though. I wish he was like one colorless cheaper.
It
But
exists.
he's usable.
It exists. Ah, yes. Good.
Uh, this is just Green Hero starter. That's it. It's just Green Hero starter
I like this
alongside
card.
T-Tar.
I like this
Uh,
card.
we
The
have Lumber
Terrarium.
Tycoon and its Terrarian. Lumber Tycoon is a actually pretty powerful card ever since it started buffing both health and power. And then the Terrarian is just really overstated as with Terrarians. So I think Lumber Tycoon itself is a very useful card if you can get it
Yeah.
out. Or
Screw
if you're just
ter-
playing mono green Terrarians and you're going to animate it for
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
world's
yeah.
cheesiest 1,500, 1,500.
Yeah, screw Terrarium players. All my homies hate Terrarium players.
Okay, we have script, which it's
No.
the script of all
No,
time,
no,
guys.
no. There's no
It's green
discussion for
removal,
this.
guys. It's unconditional green removal. Blockhawk. This is a. I guess it technically goes in red green EL, but I feel like you'd have a like. I feel like there's a better like choice over him. Like
Uh,
he's definitely a pretty decent card, but I think you have a better choice.
yeah, just
You have
it.
cell blocks here.
Oh,
I like cell blocks a lot because cell blocks is pure cost and AoE health gain.
if it had more
But
health, this would.
it is really frail and technically dies to 2 lanes.
Yeah,
But
this
we're
card.
gonna ignore that. I
Honestly,
like the card, but I just wish it had higher health.
if it had higher health, it would be higher on this ranking. But as of now, it's just D tier.
We have Wonders here, XX Wonders, which
I
this gives me flashbacks to this incident where someone was playing Green Rage in call, and they random added him, and he they used Life Goes On him, and they still won the game after that, despite the fact that this card has base 0 power, because bread is a funny thing.
infinite
I think
bread.
this card is fairly good. I wish it did have some base power so it could at least fight back, but I guess that defeats the purpose of the card.
Yeah, let's just put him in C tier.
Lead 1-3-3-7. This is it's like 13 green. And he's got a bunch of immunities, yeah, but this card is just not good.
This has
Like
funny.
you could
This
play anything, you could play any other green top end that would be better than this
okay,
card.
but we have to put in consideration that this card's health stats is not does not end in 50 or just
That is
0.
true, but I
I'm
don't think that makes that big of an impact. It just looks
it
funny.
does it makes an impact in my heart, so A tier.
This is Spirit of Robloxia. Is this Vitalized or Harrowed? I can't remember. I think
I
it's
don't.
Harrowed.
Centra really just made the same art for 2 cards.
I'm almost fairly certain it's Harrowed, but really Harrowed is just Harrowed was like the Meeboard support card of all time when Nat was a good card, and then we killed him. So now this card just exists.
Let's just put him in C tier. I don't really
Oh wait,
care.
this is the one that doubles its power on health gain. No, I'm confusing it with Vitalize. Excuse me, sorry guys.
Oh
This
right.
card is funny if you can get it to work, which is essentially just saying play Meeboards, but if it anywhere else it's just not that good.
Honestly, I would say this is still like an A tier
It's like unless you're
for
playing
the
mono green life
2
gain or you're
life gain
playing Meeboards,
players.
this card just exists. We have Daring Poophead, which is
Ooh, if Daring's watching this stream,
funny because it's an 800-400 starter with a downside that you can just completely bypass. So it's
oh,
just a funny card.
remember
It
when
works
this
really well
locked
in
it?
lock spam.
Wait, remember when this locked itself?
Well now it doesn't. So ha ha ha.
Apparently it was like kind of awful, but now it's
No, it
definitely.
sucked because why you could play anything else. It's just funny.
Yeah, let's just put him in A
Dead
tier.
Zone. Dead Zone is
Ooh,
just
I love this
exists.
card.
I wouldn't say it's like super good. It just exists, but it's definitely a nice 2 drop. And yes, I
Honestly,
did just say 2 drop.
I love this card. It's gotta be an A tier.
We have Epic Latios, which got changed from self-regenerating to target regenerate, which is useful if you're playing it. Like you could, I guess you could play mono blue chairs if you want, but I like this tweak because now it's not just a really random card you
The only
drop on the
person I
field.
know who plays this is DJ Jungle Skog because he plays chairs.
Uh, we can ignore that for now. I think it's a nicer card ever since it got changed to target regeneration.
I guess you could use this in generically blue, but like,
You could use this in generic blue, but I think you can run something else. We have Exladios Lord, which is just Defender. It's just vanilla.
This card used to be awful because this card's just really old, but now it's just
Well,
playable.
it just exists. It's just a
It's
defender.
playable.
It,
C
it
tier.
exists. We have Core Blocks Archer, which I want to shit all over Core Blocks because it's
Oof.
Core Blocks and it's a stripe group. Oh, it's supposed to be really easy to play for the new players, but it's like Core Blocks Archer is actually a good card outside of its group, so I can't really
Words
complain
cannot
about it too
describe how
much.
much I hate core blocks players.
Alright, well, if you want to make a separate
Whoop.
tier, that's up to you, but I personally think it
Uh,
is an A tier card, even outside of Core Blocks.
honestly, sure. I'll make. Sure.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming, folks.
Oh, come on.
Tater is rolling in his grave if he was dead, but he's alive, so he's not.
Come on.
So yeah, sorry to all core blocks players out there. I would have ranked you guys higher, but again, I'm not the one on the website.
Honestly, I think I'm being too kind to core blocks players because I'm not thinking
I
that
think you could have been a little more considerate.
I. If this isn't considerate, I don't know what considerate is.
Whatever. We have newbie, which used to be a weird blue life gain card, but now it's just newbie OTK, which I think is funnier. I wish newbie OTK was more consistent because it's funny, and it's also kind of insulting, but it's not. So right now, he just exists for the funny.
Well, let's put him in
That's
B
really
tier
all I have to
then.
say on the card.
Uh,
Olaf is it's Olaf. I don't need to explain the
we gotta
cost
get.
one, lock one, 200, 200.
Alright, we
We nerfed
gotta.
him back to 200, 200 because 200, 300 was too good. If you
We
want to
got
bring that change up, don't ask me because I'm only a tester.
this card.
Like it's Olaf, guys. Okay,
If you know
I don't
Olaf,
have
then
to
you
tell
know.
you anything about this card. Razakai.
Oh, I love this
Razakai
card.
exists. It is funny in Seance cheese where you just get the free body with Seance, but other than that, I don't really have any comments on this card. It's just a card.
Honestly, I really like this card. I give it a B.
We have Toothy Deers. It's the funny stat set. I like Toothy Deers a lot because it's funny stat
The
set, but
only
it's
thing
like,
that brings down Toothy Deer is that its space art is just kind of awful.
well, ask one of the artists to re-art it, I guess.
I remember
But aside
I
from that, I think
re-art.
it's a very powerful and versatile card. You can use it on yourself. You can use it on your opponent.
Yeah, I'll put it a
It
B
just
then.
does cool things.
Astral Memer. Pseudo Starter.
It's just the funny pseudo starter card. It is the pseudo starter of all time. We
I,
have
I,
I
I
Spy
still.
here, which is
I,
I will always advocate for I Spy just because it's the D power draw card reveal hand, which is
this
as
is.
much as I don't like hand revealing in card games, it's just super helpful in this
Yeah.
situation in like the situations where it's like you can actually see what your
Wait, why
opponent's
don't
doing.
you like hand reveal?
Because I just think it's kind of stupid to see whatever your opponent's going to do next. But we're playing a Roblox card game, so I can shit all over it.
Don't you already shit all over it?
No. Fury Blocks. We swapped his stats and then gave him Dexterous, which is funny. He
Uh,
he was bad and now he's kind of good.
it's essentially
That's
a
all, that's
400
all I have to say.
400 for 2 white in blue.
That's literally all I have to say. He's funny. That's it.
Honestly, I can see myself playing this card if I really wanted to play blue, but I won't
We
because
have
blue is like the
Glacia
most
Mage,
cringe color
which
to ever exist.
Glacia Mage is just Olaf number 2, except he's not as cool as Olaf.
The 1 to 2 colored stud really does matter, so I think it's just C.
It's just Olaf 2. If you wanted 8 Olafs, you can have 8 Olafs. We have Neon
Wait, you
District
could
and its
have 8
terrain Deuce
Olafs?
Deluge Fahrenheit. And
Uh,
I don't think I've seen people animate Neon District, but Neon District itself is a very good card ever since it's drew on cast.
yes, I would give this an A and its Terraria a B because there's really no point in animating it.
We have Pizza Block, which is just blue TV, and TV is already a
Blue
good card.
stats, bottom
TV is already
text.
a good card. It's got the same exact cost, same exact stats as TV. I don't really have any comments on it because it's vanilla. It's a pretty good card because it's funny
Blue stats.
stats.
This every mono blue player should run this card. Just
We
saying.
have Graph.
I don't. If we
If
do we
real
really need
Graph
to
was in
explain
this
this card?
watching the stream right now, he'd be rolling his grave. But there's nothing to say about this card. It's the one way on dash draw card.
All right, next.
Azure Wrath. I've never seen this card played, considering that blue has just so many better draw options.
This card exists. I just give it a C tier.
It exists. We have Crocostar, which is a interesting vanilla blue top end. I think it's kind of weird that he's in the starter blue, but he's a pretty good card when you actually get to play him.
I don't really like him all that much. I give him a D.
Tethamit.
Uh, the only thing I remember about this card is that Epic Knob would always tell me that this card is unplayable. Other than that, I really don't know.
Tethamit exists. I guess you can use it with Unworld or something like that.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Solstice was telling me that Unworld is stupidly overpowered.
Everyone's shitting on Unworld, but that's not what we're here for. Card Quest tier list comes another day, folks.
Perhaps.
Sure.
I
It's just draw. There's nothing special about it. It's just draw. We buffed his stats, but it's just draw. There's nothing else to it.
it's just a boring on card. I just give it a C tier.
We have that is the ultimate build Terrarian. Ultimate build's kind of funky.
I
It exists. I don't think it's a very good terrain itself because it's just blue target support. But I'd still like the only reason I see people playing it is to animate it into the Paleotholic engine. But I think the card itself is kind of mid. I think the Terrarian, as usual, is broken because it's a 1,000/1,000.
blue stats. We'll just do this then.
It's like you can
It's
complain all you
whatever.
want, but it's like Terrarian.
All right. Next, if we have
It's Celestial Lore Keeper. It's the rank 6, cost 3, 600, 600, draw 2 cards, gain 600 life. This card is funny. I like it a lot.
this we'll put it in A tier for the blue simps.
We have Death Keeper,
Oh wait, we
which
forgot. I forgot about this one. All right.
okay, never mind. We're not ranking Death Keeper. Thunderbolt.
Screw this
People shit
card.
on Thunderbolt a lot, and I don't get why people shit on Thunderbolt. I like Thunderbolt a lot, and I get that people don't like it because it
Boo.
kills your regeneration. But I think it's kind of a neat card. I would
Why
personally
does
give it a
blue
B.
get to, why does blue gets to have this type of removal? I don't get
For the
it.
same reason Lobsters got hardcast.
Fine, we'll go on technicality and just put in like A tier or something. I don't know.
We have
TV.
oh we have TV here, which it's just the vanilla card. It's just the same as Pizza Block except for yellow, which can play it a lot easier because it's yellow.
Yellow has better stats. I just give it a C tier.
We have Sonic, which
Hey,
I
it's that.
really liked his old iteration where he
Hey,
was
it's the
pure
altar
cost.
that I'm in.
Okay, we're not here for bias, Wildy.
Yes, we are. If we
Okay,
did bias
well,
in the
I
last
think
tier,
Sonic is still a usable card. I know that he got tweaked and now he costs colorless, but I think he's still a very usable
I would say
quality
A
card.
tier. I'll just put
We
in an A
have
tier
we have
for.
Connor. This it's like I know this card is pretty good. It is
Oh,
lock
whoops! I
3,
forgot about
but
this
it
one.
is kind of expensive. It's really expensive, and I kind of wish it wasn't that expensive. I really wish it was like 3 colorless instead of 4, but I guess that's the price you
Uh,
have to pay for lock 3, even though Naga exists.
it's lock 3 with decent stats. I would say it's at least a B tier.
We have Icy. Now,
Ooh,
we
imagine if
can't
ICT was watching the stream.
he's not.
That would be really sad, but it'd be really funny if he was.
Well, I think ICT is an okay card. I I like it a lot. Icy did implicitly add bias to his own card, and he gave it a on cast animation.
Yeah, it's just this
It's
card
like the
is
card exists.
this card
The card's
is
pretty good. I
it's
really wish it was a little cheaper, but it's pretty good.
it's annoying to deal with. So
Just play better, I think, Wildy.
says the Tudo player.
Okay, we have Caroline, which it's just either Swarm or Pecant. There's no in between. Although I guess you could also play it because it costs 1, but Fashionable Citizen also exists in that regard.
Okay, but what
I
if you
think
don't
Caroline's
know?
a pretty good card. I really wish it was cooler outside of Swarm and
I
Doges and all that kind of
it's
stuff and
yellow
Canister.
sack, but like yellow sack
It's
doesn't
like it's
exist.
cool. Well, Yellow Sack is called Swarm Royalty. We have Captain Doge. I
Uh,
hate the Doge cards so much because they're just so stupid to play against, but innately they're all good. That
I don't
aside
get
from
why
like
everyone
Dogehound,
hates Doges. Literally, just play AOE, nerds.
not everyone wants to play AOE, Wildy.
Who wouldn't want to play AOE?
Not everyone has fun spamming red.
Well, I do.
Well, aside from the fact that Doges are a little irritating sometimes, I think they're all relatively good cards, except for Dogehound because Silky Dev exists.
Yes. Okay, we'll just rank all of them at the same time. Okay,
Just rank them on A. Personally, they're all very powerful and good cards.
oh,
And Shamrock Doge of course, can be run outside of its group.
oh yeah, I don't really get why you do that when that one 3 white 400/300 draw card exists.
Well, not everyone wants to lose the card they draw.
Then just cast it.
It draws top end, loses game because they don't have any top ends left.
Well, that's a mulligan issue on them then.
That's not what a mulligan is, Wildy.
What is a
Animal Logic does
mulligan
count.
then?
Doge is down there, by the way. He's next to Clone Trooper.
Hold on,
There's
where
also
is?
Troll Tide.
Okay, if Yannick is watching this, I'll just put us in B tier. Uh,
He got a cost nerf. Come on, he can be played easier. He's 2 white instead of 3. He's a good card. What do you mean?
all right. Next up, we have Email Vilta.
This card exists.
I hate this card.
It's like
This card is
it's
so.
like you just play Thrilled Spectators. It has the same stats except it's 1 white more.
This card is worse than the amount of debt I have.
Pilgrim. Pilgrim also exists. It's not even can't support though, so I
This
hate
card
it.
is awful. I'd give it a D tier.
Pilot. Pilot is the funny 200 haste in a situation where
I
Happy Clown
this
would not get
card
the
used to
kill.
be this card used to be so stupid whenever old range was around, but now it's.
Hey guys, fun fact. Pilot counts as a group for the sole purpose of Pilot Luke, and you can technically use it in crossover.
Oh, you had to tell the crossover players that.
Well, nobody plays crossover, Wildy. Regardless, I
Oh
think
come
it's
on! I
a
know a
nice.
lot of crossover players.
It's a nice 1 drop for 200 instant damage. I think it's a good card, so
That's
we'll give it a
B
B.
tier for me ever
I
since.
hate Robar. Why does Robar exist? It's like
Ooh, I love this card.
I hate Robar so much. Why? Like why? You can play any other 1 drop, and you choose to spend it on a fighter by playing an
You could
action.
combo this with Lord of Greed for the funny.
Just play Volt.
Yeah, but like not every fighter has 100 health.
Animal Logic. Animal Logic was better when it was Doge grouped, and then we took it out of the Doge group because it was stupid in the Doge group, and now the card just exists.
Oh, I
I wouldn't
remember
say it's
this
very
card was
good.
bugged wherever it would still give itself whenever in the Doge group.
Well, no, that's patched. We fixed that like a while back.
Oh,
I
why
think the
won't you let
card's
me
just kind
gaslight
of mid.
people? Like, my gosh.
I think the card's mid. It's not cool, especially since it's no longer grouped. It just exists.
Yeah, I'll just put it in C tier. Ah, I
We
see.
have Gemini.
The
I
worst one
This
dev,
card
three
is just the
dev.
mono yellow mid range card. At least that's what it's known for. I know it can be used outside of that, and it's actually pretty decent when you're not spamming mid
Uh,
range. But I don't really have
this
any
got
comments on
power
it.
crept so hard by one dev 3, so I had to give it at least a C tier.
We have Pikachu Killer. This card
Uh,
is just yellow starter. TM. It's
honest,
like I think you can use this in place of Samrock Doge if you don't need the draw. It's like I think they're both essentially like similar cards in the aspect that they're both very good starters. Except one draws and one doesn't, so it's like do you want draw on 2 bodies that are weaker or one body that doesn't draw that's stronger?
my personal take is it's just this is a decent alternative to any other 3 white starter in yellow.
Whatever. We have power of popularity, and it's like I know this card draws you more cards if you're out of cards, but it's like yellow has so much draw already. You're already drawing a lot of cards, and if you run out of cards, I think that's on you personally, but I think the card itself is good for that backup plan in case you do run out of cards.
Uh,
Even though
honestly,
you could like literally play any other yellow draw,
the
but
only
it's like
thing I
whatever.
know is that apparently this used to be good in toys, but then
It
toys
was like the toy card, and then toys died, and now nobody plays them. So,
curse you, Sammy.
all right, we have soft collision. Is that what this card's called? I don't even remember but all I know is that it generates twice.
Oh yeah, this card's just playable. I just give it a C
Oh wait, it
tier.
generates 5. Did we change that?
Wait, what?
Hmm. It's well, I guess we changed the cost or something. I barely remember this card because nobody plays it.
Yeah,
I
this.
guess if you can follow up on it, it's useful, but if you can't, then it sucks. So this card exists. If you can follow up on it, it's pretty decent. If you can't, then it sucks.
Yeah. Next up, we have
It's
sword
sword
fights
fights
on
on
the
the heights,
heights.
and it's terrain, Spirit of the Heights. I guess the power buff is nice. It's relatively cheap to play. It's actually only 4 yellow. And then the animated effect is actually pretty good. It destroys whatever it attacks if it has less power than it, and it has base 500. So I think it's a
Yellow
relatively good
just.
card.
Wow,
I wish it was like 150 power gain, but
we really just be
I think that'd
giving
make it
yellow
too
every
good.
single form of removal there is, huh?
We have Warbear Nomkins, which it's a good card. It's nice health gain.
This person has made some questionable arts in the past.
We don't need to bring that up, Wildy.
Oh yeah, I will bring up anything I want.
Whatever.
Okay, yeah, but realistically speaking, this card's just okay.
We have Catalog Heaven and its terrain again being Patholic Engine, which is of course overstated. Catalog Heaven is now quite expensive because it's now the recur with two or less gain fading, and to be perfectly honest, I don't like it that much. It's like yeah, it's cool for swarms, like, but it's like I just don't like the card.
I'll
I
be
just don't think it's that cool.
I'll be honest.
And
Recur
of course, as per
just
the
for
usual, the Terrarian is overstated.
why are we always having overstated Terrarians is my
Because
question.
because you have to spend a lot of investment in it, but I'm not gonna nitpick that. We have Shadow of Gyatto, which is it's cheap, fleeting draw. I think it's always been a good card.
Uh,
It's always just been a good card, although its stats do suck. But you can't cry about that because it is hero support.
what does Heroes Support have to do with anything?
Never mind. We have DIY headphones, which I
Uh,
wish this card was cheaper because then it'd be a lot better. But it's still a good AOE board buff if you can play it.
yeah, I guess that's fine. We'll just put it at B tier then.
We
Oh,
have
oh,
Colby. We have Colby. Colby is like probably one of the best Doge cards aside, along with Troll Tide, simply due to the fact that it gives you more, and additionally due to being in Doge group, it just
oh right, I
power
forgot to
buffs
put
and
this in A
power
tier.
and health gains a lot. It's probably one of the best ones. Lugi is
Ooh,
it's
this
Lugi, guys. Come
this
on.
thing. I'm
It's like Lugi is one of the yellow cards of all time. I don't think I need to make any comments on Lugi.
yeah, we don't.
We have Preston.
Preston.
Now Preston is supposed to be a yellow hero card, but we did change him slightly. He now does 50 bread and 50 D power on target when he's cast. But it's like
It's
he's just not good. Like he's just not good.
yeah, it's just put him in D tier and move on.
Reggie. I don't personally play Reggie. I do have a foil of him,
Ooh, I
which I
love
got by
Reggie.
accident. But I
Ooh,
just don't think it's. I think he's cool, but I really wish he was a tad bit cheaper.
ooh, I love Reggie. I'd give him an A tier.
Okay, we have Troll Tide. Troll Tide is so stupid. It's 300 health gain for all doges. I think it's probably an S tier card solely due to the fact that it's
Yeah,
just
I
so
guess that's
powerful in its group.
fine, but like, it's
I just
swarm.
wish Troll Tide was weaker. MZH. I'm going to shit all over this card simply because it exists. Guest, I'm sorry. If you're watching this, you probably aren't, but I'm sorry if you are.
Honestly,
As cool as MZH is, and as funny as it is to play him, I just don't like him.
honestly, this card is so iconic and needs its own tier.
I've just never liked MZH because it's just one of the fearmonger cards.
My take on this card is that I don't really care for it.
Rizemon. This card's interesting because it's another Yellow Swarm support. I actually do like this card because he's actually relatively cheap. Unfortunately, he's an epic, which means it's kind of hard to play him. But
It's
he's a really good card. Like he's a super good card. It's 150 power per allied
eh,
fighter on
eh,
your end step, and it resets just in case someone decided to be funny and depower it.
I think it's just fine. I just give it a C tier.
We have Prestwick. Prestwick is it's just the 800 instant damage.
Yeah,
I don't have any comments on Prestwick.
I don't think we need to talk about this card.
We have Pilot Luke. I like Pilot Luke a lot, simply due to the fact that one, it's 3 gen, two, the three different haste cards is just so impactful on certain board states.
Yes,
Like I
indeed.
like Pilot Luke a lot, and I think it's a very powerful card.
It can be. Clone
Clone
Trooper.
Trooper. It's just the yellow beat stick. That's it.
I don't really see anyone playing this, so I'm just gonna give it a C tier.
And then we have Gun Snack. I don't remember this card's name at all, but all I know is that it's like attack destroy. It's like destroy stat reset.
I don't really like it. I give it a C tier.
I don't think I've ever seen a single person play this card. So
All
sorry for
right,
all the people out there that play this card, but
and
I've never seen you
that's
guys
the
play it.
completed tier list. Thank you all for watching this.
This
Uh,
list sucks.
you suck,
This list sucks.
dude. Why you gotta be so rude?